What's up, everyone? My name is Josh, and this is Josh Unboxed, and welcome back to the Daily Grind, a video series in which I talk about particular plays, cards, strategies, news, and how it affects the overall sports card market. And in other words, it's kind of a way for us to help navigate through the craziness that we're experiencing right now in the sports card market, and also ways to keep us informative and how to make sound purchasing decisions. Now, before I start with today's topic on Juan Soto, the biggest news of today is Hank Aaron's passing away. Hank Aaron passed away today. Today is January 22nd. At the time of this recording, the home run king, revolutionary player, truly one of the greats of the game. You will be missed. Now let's talk about Juan Soto. I figured might as well give him some shine as well. We talked about Tatis, we talked about Acuna cards. Now it's time to talk about Juan Soto. Now this video is not in a sense to say, hey, let's go buy Juan Soto cards, because to be honest, if you ask me, I think it's kind of a time to kind of hold off a little bit, or if you have them, might consider selling. Unless you truly believe in him, then why not hold them long term? The only reason why I'm kind of like, okay, let me hold off a little bit is because his cards have jumped up. If this was a month ago, I would probably say, yeah, now is the time to buy Juan Soto. But because the prices have increased at the rate that they have, for me, it kind of tells me to pause a little bit. And not only that, we're seeing somewhat of a retraction a little bit, or a little bit of a slowdown between those three guys for Acuna, Tatis, and Soto, because I've been watching their cards lately and they have kind of dipped down just slightly. I think it's come to be expected because of the fact that we're not even close to the season starting. I mean, we're probably about April 1st. We're like 2 months away from the season starting. I can kind of see the market kind of coming down a little bit, especially with people, jumping onto like the vintage cards. Like I talked about yesterday about the vintage plays and how the sports card market, a lot of the new people into the sports card market have shifted their attention to vintage. And this is probably one of the reasons why we're probably seeing a kind of slowdown. People who probably bought in early are selling and making that profit and turning it into and putting it into another area of the hobby, whether it be UFC cards or whether it be vintage cards. This market always shifts. It's always cyclical. But it's a good time to kind of reflect and take a look and see whether if it's a good time to start thinking about maybe buying these guys. We'll see how much of a retraction there is, if any. But as of right now, I'm kind of like holding off on Juan Soto just because of the fact that the cards just jumped up too high too fast. And we're going to pull up the data. We're going to pull up Card Ladder. We're going to look at 3 of his cards. We're going to look at the Flagship PSA 10. We're going to look at the Chrome PSA 10, and we're going to look at the Topps Heritage. And we're going to see the data and maybe make a decision on whether or not we should be buying his cards, or maybe we should hold off. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the data, and we're going to look at everything. All right. So what we have here first, this is the Topps update. This is the Flagship PSA 10. You can see here there's a current value of $298. As we're looking at it here from the 1 year price point, we see that it reached the peak right here at around August at near $300. And recently with this run up, we reached that $300 price mark. So we kind of reached the peak and a little bit has gone past it. But if you look at the last 3 months, you can see that we went up at 301, 303, and then right here we're at 314, and then we're kind of coming down a little bit the last couple of days on Juan Soto, but not much. It's probably like a $10, $20 or so. But it'll be interesting to see if this trend continues to come down. Now, where you see it most prominently is within this Topps Chrome PSA 10. It says here current value of $410. Now, in this case, the peak in August was at $300. Since then, in the last week or so, we've passed that significantly. $490, almost reaching $500. And then now we're seeing the slight dip. If we go down into the 3-month range, you can see it right here. Peak $490. And then the last few days, we've gone down to $410. Now, when you look at this chart and we see that big run up right here in Chrome passing the peak that it had previously, and that's attributed to a lot of the new people coming into the hobby and jumping onto baseball cards, and I think that most of them gravitate towards the Chrome. Chrome looks nicer, Chrome has that nice finish. It's easier to grade, obviously, but like it's just shiny and it looks nice. Next, we got here the Topps Heritage, and then this one you could see also the dip as well. Right here, current value of $134.88. We see the run up here in December, late December, early January to a peak of 147, which surpassed the previous peak here in August of 133. And then we're starting to see it come back down to around $130 or so. So, and you can kind of see it here with the 3-month as well as it coming down. As you can see, the Chrome and the Heritage have actually kind of taken a dip. I know it's only been a few days or so, but it'll be interesting to see if the trend continues. I don't see it going down any more further. I think it will reach a nice new floor with this card, with these cards, and then right before the season starts, I think we're gonna see a slight increase again. So it might be a time to start thinking whether we should buy into Juan Soto if you've missed it. Now, you might not get as big of a profit as if you would have bought it back in December, November. However, you could still make a small amount of profit out of it if I believe that we might see it increase again right during spring training or right before the season starts as expectations and hype are at its highest. But yeah, if you ask, like I said, if you ask me personally, I'm kind of holding off on Juan Soto. Like I said in my Acuna video, I am putting my money on Fernando, Tatis between the three of them. Soto is great, but at the same time, his prices are at a point where it's kind of like too high in a sense. Like personally, I feel like there's no room for growth with Juan Soto in terms of his card prices because so much is already built into his price, whereas Tatis, there's more upside. Acuna has more upside because of the fact that his floor is so low compared to these guys. I mean, Juan Soto, great player and all, but you know, like I said, personally, it's hard. But if you guys truly believe in Juan Soto and you believe that he's gonna knock it out of the park, he's gonna do really great this year, then by all means, justify your reasons as to buying him. If you are thinking about buying into him, I would say just let's see what happens right now. There's only been a few days and it started to dip a little bit. It could be possible that it may dip just slightly more and there might be an opportunity to buy in again and wait until the season starts. Unless, like I said, you're a big believer in him. You know, these are just my thoughts. These are just my opinions. This is what I see on the data. I leave it up to you guys, like I say, to make your decision whether you feel like Soto is a buy or not. So hopefully you found some value in this. I know it's kind of hard because the prices are already up for Juan Soto, but you know, if you guys found some value, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, I do this daily. I do this thing on a daily basis. I talk about baseball, I talk about basketball. I have topics about football. I have my thoughts on hockey. I'm trying to dive into the soccer market too, just trying to do some research on that. And also some few non-sports things that I kind of want to talk about in future videos as well. But hey, that's just the nature of the beast of the whole sports card, trading card market. There's a lot of avenues in here. There's a lot of opportunity. You just got to know where to look and when to look. So with that being said, my name is Josh, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.